सुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना
తినేసి కష్టపడుతున్నాం.
ఓం శ్రీ గణేశాయ నమః. ఓం శ్రీ సరస్వత్యై నమః. ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. సమస్త జన కళ్యాణే నిరతం కరుణామయం నమామి చిన్మయం దేవం సద్గురుం బ్రహ్మ విద్వరం సద్గురుం బ్రహ్మ విద్వరం. యో అంతః ప్రవిశ్య మమ వాచమిమాం ప్రసుప్తాం సంజీవయత్యఖిలశక్తిధరస్వధామ్నా अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. समचरणसरोजम् सान्द्रनीलाम्बुदाभम् जघननिहितपाणिम् मण्डनम् मण्डनानाम् तरुणतुलसीमालाम् गन्धरम् कञ्जनेत्रम् सदयधवलहासम् विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि. Pranams to the Lord. Pranams to all the Mahatmas in tonight's Eknathi Bhagawat session. We are in chapter 17. We have finished first 75 OVs. We resume from verse number 13. विप्रक्षत्रिय विच्छूद्राः मुखबाहुरुपादजाः वैराजा पुरुषाज्जाता य आत्माचारलक्षणाः. Over to you, Sajid ji.
Sorry. Meaning of the verse. From Brahma appeared the four classes of society as Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and the Shudras, which were evolved respectively from his mouth, arms, thighs and feet, and known by their own conduct. 76. From the Vairaja, Brahmins were born from his mouth, Kshatriyas were born from his arms, Vaishyas were born from the thighs. OV 77. Shudras were born from the feet. Thus the four classes came into existence. Every class has its particular duties. 78. In this way, from Vairaja person, four classes were begun, and now I will tell you about ashramas, the stages in individual life.
Have you done different mic systems, Sajid ji? Something you have plugged in for your volume?
So, I'm using the laptop speaker actually. Earlier I had a mic, but the mic spoiled actually.
Okay, yeah. So there is that one extra some sound coming. Doesn't matter. I just wanted to verify because this was not your usual sound. Doesn't matter. Grahashramo jaghanataha brahmacharyam hrido mama vakshasthaladvane vasaha nyasa shirshani samsthitaha.
Meaning of the verse. Family life was born from my thighs, bachelorhood from my heart, forest dwelling from my chest, and sannyasa from my head. 79. From my thighs the stage of family life was born, and bachelorhood was born from my heart. Vanaprastha was born from my chest. 80. Then the fourth ashrama, which is sannyasa, is at my head. Thus I have told you the system of four classes and four ashramas.
वर्णानामाश्रमाणाञ्च जन्मभूम्यनुसारिणीः आसन् प्रकृतयो नृणाम् नीचै नीचोत्तमोत्तमाः.
Meaning of the verse. The nature of people belonging to the different varnas and ashramas developed according to the character of the place of their origin. Low in the case of those of low origin, and lofty in case of those born from high origin. 81. The qualities of the class and the stage of life depend on the place of their origin from my body. The category born from higher part was high, and category born from lower part was low. 82. Further, Brahmins were of Sattvic Guna, Kshatriyas were of the mixture of Sattva and Raja, Vaishyas were having mixture of Rajas and Tamas, and Shudras were simply Tamasic. 83. The Lord now goes on to describe the behavior and nature of all the castes differently.
शमोदमस्तपशौचं सन्तोषः क्षान्तिरार्जवं मद्भक्तिश्च दया सत्यं ब्रह्म प्रकृतयस्त्विमाः.
Meaning of the verse. The natural traits of a Brahmin are control of mind and the senses, meditation, purity, contentment, forgiveness, simplicity, devotion to God, compassion, truthfulness. 84. The Lord Sri Krishna said to Uddhava, I will now tell you the 10 types of virtues related to Brahmins, which please listen to with proper attention. 85. Mind and the sense organs are having a tendency to go out into the world. They should be controlled by the power of discretion, and they should be re-established and fixed in the self. 86. Now to control that tendency like this is similar to catching tightly the hood of a black cobra and continue pressing our fingers till the cobra loosens its coils. 87. Similarly, having faith in the advice of Guru and on the strength of desirelessness which should be developed, the tendency thus turned inwards should be steadily pressed into unity with Atman. 88. One should hold on to the advice given by the Guru as the most important guideline, and intellect should be merged and the mind should be transformed in it. This is called Shama, or control of inward faculties. 89. This Shama or inner control is a natural virtue with Brahmins. Now listen to the control of activities by our limbs, which is called Dhamma. This is the second virtue. You should understand that the organs of action are having tremendous power to move out and act in the outer world. One should apply strict discipline, like crushing that outgoing energy by denial, so that nothing wrong will be done. This involves stillness in the body in the face of provocation of any kind, and not to act or react. 91. In the virtue of Dhamma, one exercises controlled permission to undertake activities with the only aim of getting things sufficient to live and maintain our body. 92. Here inner control is the king, and outer denials of action, etc. are the subjects of that king. I have told you the exact meaning of both. Now listen to the third virtue of penance. 93. Shama gives peace to sense organs, and Dhamma results in peace to the organs of action. After that, to perform duties laid down for us by Vedas only involves quite a good amount of knowledge, which should be welcomed. 94. One meaning of penance is to observe vows of different kinds and to maintain body at the maximum required level of efficiency. But this observance depends on various factors, including our destiny. But the real great penance is to meditate on the nature of Sri Hari in our heart, especially in the form of truth. 95. One who performs his duties only does not forget the Lord and always broods over the nature of Atman. 96. One who always has his mind tethered to the nature of Atman, just as a miser thinking of his money or a young girl thinking of a young man. 97. Is worthy of being called a man of penance. This is the highest type of penance, and this great virtue of a Brahman is called the glorious penance. 98. Now listen to the thought of purity. It is of two kinds. One is definitive knowledge in the mind, and the second is outward activities within the framework of sanction of Vedas. 99. The body is prone to be dirty, and that can be cleaned by using water and particular clay, and there are dirty thoughts by which the mind becomes polluted. That can be cleaned by clear concept that we are Atman and not mind. 100. O Uddhava, the main sign of purity is this cleanliness, both inside and outside. Now please listen to the signs of contentment. 101. When a son is born, there is happiness in the family, and if the son dies, people feel sorrow. When one gets money, he is glad, and when he loses money, he becomes sad. 102. But there is a state of happiness which is eternal, and by which crores of sorrows are dissolved. That is real happiness. All other states of gladness, etc., are nothing compared to that. 103. There is a special kind of natural happiness which a man gets through my devotion, and one may suffer misery or receive great property. That happiness creates contentment because there is a sense of equality in that mind. 104. Some people use the word forbearance to denote contentment and call it titiksha. Especially many intellectuals use that word. Please listen to the meaning of that word. 105. When the mind of a man is not at all disturbed in the conditions of extreme cold and extreme heat, or the touch of any object, either soft or hard. 106. In that case, he identifies himself with either of the opposite condition. So this is the explanation of the word contentment, the fourth virtue of a Brahmin. Having talked about this quality, Sri Krishna said further about what is peace. 107. The Lord said, when a man experiences me in his heart, the desire and anger disappear. And if anybody makes any mistake or any offense is done in his respect, he does not mind at all. 108. On the contrary, he obliges the man who has done wrong. He does not experience any disturbance in his mind. That is the state of peace. 109. Such a state of peace is the sixth virtue of a Brahmin. Now listen about the virtue of simplicity or straightforwardness. I will tell you the exact sign. 110. Just see, though a mother may be ugly and not beautiful, her love for her child is not ugly. Similarly, if an image of a cobra is made of gold, the gold does not become a cobra. 111. Similarly, though a man is provoked by others to behave cunningly with a man who is cunning, he cannot behave like that. The thought does not enter his mind. This is called straightforwardness or pure honesty. 112. The water of a river does not know how to be bitter for a tiger and sweet for a cow. Same is the condition here. The mind of a man is having the same attitude towards the cunning man as he has for others. 113. This is called Arjava or Rijuta, here called straightforwardness. This is the seventh virtue of a Brahmin. Now Lord Krishna is telling you about devotion to God. 114. O Uddhava, just as the earth supports everything like a forest, a garden or a river, so devotion to me is the base, the main breeding ground for all virtues. 115. As the earth, the soil is the main support for any crop to grow. Similarly, all these signs are born from my devotion. 116. That virtue of devotion is being explained. Only he who drops his selfish desire for earthly objects or divine pleasures and loves me whole and soul is my devotee. 107. If a man calls himself a devotee and is mad for earning money, that is all against the real devotion. O Uddhava, a greedy man should be considered as a non-devotee. 118. The man who has no feeling of devotion but performs outward rituals etc. in my devotion is a hypocrite. He soars high in the sky like a blind eagle who cannot find a suitable perch. 119. I do not consider the caste or the family of a man who is my devotee. Only devotion to me is sufficient for him to meet me in unity. 120. I simply jump to help a man who has real love for me. There is love for me only in a man who hoists the flag of faith in me. 121. O Uddhava, the man who thinks that whatever he sees is God is my dearest devotee. His devotion is my life and blood. 122. He is my jiva and breath. I offer everything mine to him. Just as a cow recently delivered his whole and soul for her calf, I am obedient to my devotee. 123. In short, O Uddhava, there is total and limitless sense of surrender to me, which is the real devotion. Now listen to the sign of compassion or a sense of pity for everybody. 124. Just as when a mother sees her child falling in some calamity, she does not wait a minute but runs to help it. So the man feels great pangs of compassion and pity when he sees anybody in calamity or in miserable condition. 125. When such compassion arises, the man does not consider who is his near relative or who is a stranger. He does not even ask about the caste of the man who is to be helped. 126. If a man is being drowned in a river, he simply jumps to save his life and never cares about the caste of that man. This is real pity. 127. He will jump into a house on fire just to save a life. I bow down before such a man of compassion. 128. This man has, by his virtue of compassion, won me over and as if purchased me totally. 129. Therefore, I do any type of work in his house, and whatever calamity befalls such a man is a calamity on me. 130. Thus, a man who thinks kindly about the lowly forlorn person, who is really kind-hearted, is as if a storehouse of my glory, and for me he is the essence of happiness. 131. This is the pity, the ninth virtue of a Brahmin. Now I am going to tell you the whole sign about truth. 132. That fact is that real truth is not touched by falsehood, either in waking state, dream or sleep. 133. When such truth is established completely in the heart, his speech and his reason is always truthful. When the mind is truthful, the whole creation is real, true, and nothing false remains anywhere. 134. This is the 10th virtue of Brahmins, which is evident in all their behavior. 135. So all these 10 virtues grow in the field of the nature of the Brahmins, and it is worth noting that this state of mind is original, natural, and inartificial with them. 136. If the Brahmins are full of these 10 characteristics, they are worthy of respect for all others. O Uddhava, now listen to the explanation of the Kshatriyas and their virtues.
तेजो बलं धृतिः शौर्यं तितिक्षौदार्यम् उद्यमः स्थैर्यं ब्रह्मण्यतैश्वर्यं क्षत्रप्रकृतयस्त्विमाः.
Meaning of the verse. The character of Kshatriyas is consisting of the following virtues: brilliance, strength, courage, bravery, forbearance, generosity, adventure, stillness, respect for Brahmins who know Brahman, and glory. 137. O Uddhava of good qualities, I have told you about the 10 virtues of the Brahmins. Now please listen to the 10 virtues which Kshatriyas possess. 138. Tejas, brilliance, means power to advance boldly and conquer others. They are like the sun on this earth, by the light of whom other kings become pale. 139. So brilliance is the foremost quality of a worthy Kshatriya. Now I shall tell you about their strength. 140. Kshatriya is so strong that he will fight with many warriors at one time alone, and he goes on fighting even if he is beheaded and kills the enemies. 141. While entering into the war field, he does not ask for anybody's help. He attacks the enemy ranks like a single lion attacking many elephants. 142. When the sky is full of demons and the earth is overcrowded by asuras who are against him, his courage is not at all lost. 143. Even the sky may collapse or the earth may have upheaval, his courage does not get disturbed, even as much as a hair on his body. 144. Even if the end of the world may be impending, his mind is not afraid. When he is so fearless, his quality is called the courage. 145. When Kshatriyas know how to wield successfully the 84 weapons and have this power as a natural quality, it is called the courage of the warrior caste, that is Kshatriyas.
Hariyo.
Yeah.
I think we can pause over here. Only readings, Ajivji. Please share your thoughts.
Yeah, the first thing that I think started was about the different ashramas from the body of the Vairaja, what they means. I think it's the Virat Purusha. That is talking about Brahman, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, how they evolved from the mouth, the arms, the thighs, and the feet. So the qualities of Brahmins were also nicely described. The 10 qualities of Brahmins, that is in which was in 83 OV. It is the control of the mind and senses, meditation, purity, contentment, forgiveness, simplicity, devotion to God, compassion, and truthfulness. And I liked some of the examples which describe these qualities also, like how these virtues are described. Like for example, that purity they described as inner and outer purity. So it's not only the external purity of your body, but also the internal purity of your mind. Then Shama Dama, Shama Dama, Titiksha also were described. They are generally described as qualities that purify our mind for the higher, when we are looking to develop our higher, seeking higher things. And then devotion, like devotion to God, meditating on the nature of Sri Hari in the verse 94. And this verse is nice. That is 96. How the mind is tethered to the nature of Atman. That is a nice description, like something like an anchor, where it is tethered, or that is always there at the, like something to hold you, that you are not this body, or you are not this mind or intellect, but your true nature is Atman. So that is like an anchor. That's a nice statement. Then this is the verse that I was talking about, 98. It talks about purity of two kinds. One is definitive knowledge in the mind, and the second is like working within the sanction of the Vedas. I mean, that is happiness. And then state of happiness is described very nicely here, where it is not temporary, like a child is born in the family, or a child dies, we experience joy and sorrow, or when we get money and when we lose money, how we get temporary happiness. But the state of happiness is described here as something which is eternal and real and eternal, and it cannot compare to some temporary or momentary, like fleeting happiness which we get from like daily worldly pleasures. Then contentment and other qualities of Brahmins were also described. Contentment and forbearance. So that means they are able to withstand extreme conditions of opposites like cold and heat, and softness, hardness. So peace is another quality which is described here, that peace and simplicity and straightforwardness, these three qualities. So how a mother's love for the child goes beyond looks, and it's like true love, and she would not bear to see the child fall down or face any calamity. Then straightforwardness is described very nicely here, that a person who is straightforward or honest or truthful cannot behave cunningly, even though you force such a person to behave which is not his true nature. His swadharma is is like honest or true. So if you even provoke them, they can't behave in a cunning manner. Like, so I think that is what I got. And then there is also towards the end it described the qualities of Kshatriyas, where they are very strong and courageous and able to face different hard, like they can face very strong opposition. So that was described in this, how bravery, courage and strength, those qualities of Kshatriyas. Yeah.
Beautiful. What a lovely summary. Point wise, point wise. Excellent. Nothing to add from my side. Anybody has anything to add on?
I like the movie 119 and 123, where there is limitless surrender to me, and for a devotion, Bhagavan sees no caste, and only the devotion is important to him.
Yes, and the devotion to me is sufficient for him
Yeah.
to make me united. Yeah. Beautiful.
And that total and limitless sense of surrender. 123, movie 123.
Yeah. Lovely. Beautiful verses. When we read that, we feel so thrill in the heart, right? Beautiful. Meet tomorrow again and read further in Kshatriya and go forward. Let's end today's session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Hari Om everyone. Thank you for joining. Let's continue tomorrow.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Vaishnavi.
Thank you.